So Kelsey Mitchell has been absolutely incredible this season. She has been incredible this season. I think anyone who's watching these games knows that she has put herself right into that conversation for an all WNBA second team spot. After you can honestly argue that she wasn't even playing at an all-star level up until the all-star break, but doesn't matter. Since then, she's been playing. She's been a top 5 player in the WNBA first round, or sorry, not first round, since the Olympics. And if you guys agree, subscribe. We are trying to hit 35.5k subscribers by the end of the day. But what we're going to be talking about here is, simply put, that rival teams are doing everything they can to try. Not even rival teams, rival fans are trying to almost sabotage the fever by trying to get Kelsey Mitchell out of there. Like, if you just look up Kelsey Mitchell Sky, the amount of people that are talking about Kelsey Mitchell, the Sky, the Fever fans don't deserve, Kelsey Mitchell, and Sky need Kelsey Mitchell. Why would any guard join the Sky unless you are a pass first point guard? Why would Kelsey Mitchell play? Would she come off the bench? Would she be happy coming off the bench for the Sky? And I mean that. Because she might have to come off the bench for the Sky. Or is Kennedy Carter going back to the bench? Because you sure as hell can't play both of them at the same time. You sure as hell cannot play Kelsey Mitchell and Kennedy Carter at the same time. It just does not work like that. It does not work. You cannot play the two of them at the same time. Because one, Kelsey Mitchell when she goes ISO, is the same player as Kennedy Carter, just less efficient. She is a worse Kennedy Carter when she decides to go ISO. And by ISO, I don't mean one dribble attacking closeouts and spot ups, or like one dribble step back three. When she goes 7-8 dribbles, starts running around in circles like she normally does, then when she starts doing that, she is just a worse version of Kennedy Carter. But the reality is that when Kelsey Mitchell turns into an off-the-ball specialist, she is way better. The problem is the Sky don't have anyone to find an off-the-ball specialist. And you're not going to be able to run a lineup of Kennedy Carter, her with a point guard. Like, if you go and get Olivia Miles, you're running with 3 players all under like 5'8" in your starting lineup. It's not going to work like that. And the funniest thing is, it's only Sky fans, because fans of every other team are like, well, obviously, Kelsey Mitchell staying. But in fairness, I will say, like, there is fans try to fantasy book everyone in free agency. Like, every team just thinks Satu's going to go to them, even though Dallas can core them. And the obvious thing is with Kelsey Mitchell is that she's going to be cored by Indiana. So she's not going anywhere. But it's just the funniest. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen is the fans online. Kelsey Mitchell is having the best year of her career. She's in the playoffs. And it's funny, it's like, it's the same people that said she didn't deserve to be an all-star, and now the same WNBA fans saying that she deserves better and she should leave the team. You never cared about her, you're just afraid of seeing Caitlin Clark have good players around her. Not only that, it was like when she wasn't playing that well, it's, she shouldn't have been an all-star over Kennedy Carter. And I actually do agree she shouldn't have been an all-star over Kennedy Carter. But it is funny where it's like, she is, she's been unbelievable. She's been absolutely unbelievable. And it's just funny again. Like, the fans being like, Kelsey Mitchell's no good. And then suddenly, we want Kelsey Mitchell on our team. Like, the reality of this is that the version of Kelsey Mitchell before the All-Star break and the version of Kelsey Mitchell now are two different players. I wasn't that set on Kelsey Mitchell pre-All-Star break, and I don't think the Fever were either. We saw the interview where she was like, when they got the All-Star break, she was like, well, good for them. Good for them. I think she was basically told they weren't going to give her a max, and then she proceeded to dominate like no other two guard is dominated for the rest of the year. So there's no way. Like, there's absolutely no way that Kelsey Mitchell is not going to be on the Fever next year. Simply put, there is no chance that Kelsey Mitchell won't be on the Fever. But at the end of the day, even if she's not, it won't be to the Sky. I'm trying to think of what teams will have cap space to sign her to a max that she will be good. I think she could, because you also have to look at, say, the teams that have her archetype of players. Score first, non-passing wing guards of, yeah. So if you want to look at the league, the only scenario that I can see her leaving is if there's an effective trade where both free agents leave, and Kelsey Plum decides to leave the Aces, and then Kelsey Mitchell decides to leave the Fever. Like where Kelsey Plum loses out on staying with the Aces, which they won't do. They're going to sign Kelsey Plum. If they go and sign Kelsey Plum, or if they go and say to Kelsey Mitchell, and Kelsey Mitchell goes, I want to go to Vegas, and Kelsey Plum ends up in Indiana, I think that is a like-for-like swap. I think Kelsey Plum will be better for the Aces than Kelsey Mitchell will. Just like I think Kelsey Mitchell will be better for the Fever than Kelsey Plum will. But let's look at the teams in the WNBA. Sparks, rebuilding mode. Why would you go there? Wings, already have Arike. Atlanta already have Ryan Howard. Chicago, the dumbest fit in basketball history. The Mystics don't need her. They just don't. They've already got when you've got Sykes, when you've got Ariel Atkins, you just don't need Kelsey Mitchell because you've already got two wings, two guards. The Phoenix Mercury have Kat Copper, even though they do have the cap space to go get her, but I think Taurasi will come back for another year. Indiana, perfect fit. Seattle Storm have Jewel Lloyd. The Aces have Kelsey Plum. The Connecticut Sun have Marina Mabry, and they just don't have the cap space to give her anything other than minimum. The Minnesota Lynx, she doesn't really... you know what? I think she would probably suit the Minnesota Lynx, but they're not. I don't even think they're going to approach her. And the New York Liberty, ironically, do have the cap space for her, but I would think they would rather try to reunite the Sabalis and make sure that they can keep Phoebus before anything else. But, yeah. There is no other team that even makes sense for Kelsey Mitchell. And we've still got people being like, oh, the Fever don't deserve Kelsey Mitchell. What do you mean the Fever don't deserve Kelsey Mitchell? The Fever continue to pay her max contracts on 5-win teams. People didn't care about Kelsey Mitchell when she was on 5-win teams, as good as a scorer she was. The fact is that she's scoring more points right now more efficiently. And we also have to take into account that she was horrible to start the year. Considering how bad she was to start the year, how good she's been to end the year, she's been absolutely, absolutely incredible. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is the video here. And a very solid season and hopefully another good year next year for Kelsey Mitchell for the Fever.